Now come to the RBAC. So RBAC, what exactly is? Okay. So RBAC is a role-based assignment, role-based access control. Okay. The full form of RBAC is role-based access control. We can assign a role to a particular user, to a particular group, or we can assign role based, means we have to give a suppose we have to give permission on a virtual machine to a particular user, so we can assign a role into that. Okay, so a role, RBC, a role consists of three elements. Okay, it's consist of three element. Let me write it here. RBAC always consists three element. First is security principle. Security principle means your users. Security principle can be a user, groups, or service management identity, or a application. Okay, and the second one is role definition. First one is security principle. Second one is role definition. And the third one is scope. So rollback access control consists of three elements. First is security principle, role definition, and the scope. Security principles means your users, groups, and a particular service, or the managed identity, or the application. Role definition. Role definition is a collection of permissions. It is into a JSON format. Okay, so it's just called a role. A role definition list of operations that can be performed, such as read, write, or delete. Roles can be high level like owner, or specific like virtual machine reader. Okay, we can define the role here into the role definition. Scopes means your object, where you want to apply this role. Okay, scopes means your virtual machines, or the subscription, or the subscription management group, or the resource group. Okay, so let me see a diagram of a RBAC. Okay, what can I do with the Azure RBAC? Allow one user to manage virtual machine in a subscription or another virtual machine. These are the you can do into the RBAC. Let's go to the service principle. security principle. Okay, so here are all the clears. Uh, First is RBAC. What is security principle? Security principle is an object that represent a user group or service principle or manage identity that is requesting access to Azure resources. You can assign a role to any of these security principle. Means you can assign role to a particular user, you can assign a particular group, or you can assign a service principal, or you can assign a particular subscription level. Let's come to the role definition. Role definition means what are the policies you want to assign to a particular user. Okay, what are the permission you want to assign to a particular permission is called a role. Okay, role definition is a collection of permission. It's typically just called a role. A role definition lists all the action that can be performed, such as reader, write, and delete. Roles can be high level like owner or specific like virtual machine reader. Okay, it is always into the JSON format. Okay, but we can do it through the Microsoft Azure panel. Okay, and now come to the scope. Scope is the set of resources, means where you want to assign the permission. You want to assign a permission on a resource group or a particular resource or a particular subscription or the management group. Scope is the set of resources that access applies to. When you assign a role, you can further limit the action allowed by defining a scope. This is helpful if you want to make someone a website contributor, but only for a one resource group. In Azure, you can specify a scope at 4 levels. So we have 4 levels. One is management group, subscription. We can assign a role scope to a particular management group, particular subscription level, or particular resource group level, or particular resource. Okay, so these are the levels. How it's work as first we have to select a user or a particular group, or we can set the role definition or the set the scope of that. Okay, so let's go to the Azure panel, Azure portal to understand better. Okay, let's cross this. Okay, so let me go to the management group or here. Okay, so for the scope, suppose I want to assign a I want to assign a RBAC, means role based access control to a particular resource. Okay, suppose I am going to create a resource. Okay, so let me create a resource into that. Okay, let me create a machine. Okay, now I'm going to select the cloud team here, and virtual machine name is everything set as default, and Azure user. Here I also the Azure user, and now review and create. Okay, Okay, so now I'm going to assign a role to a particular users. I create a virtual machine here. Okay, I create a virtual machine into my Azure panel. Now I'm going to assign, let me refresh it. Resources not found. Let me, okay, deployment is in process. Let's wait. Now I'm going to assign a role to a particular resources, then we assign to a particular resource group, and then we assign to a particular subscription, then we assign to a particular management group. Okay, so first we try with the resource. But let me create the resources. So resource is created, we our VM is created. Now go to the resource section. Okay, suppose this is your resources into the real time, and you have to assign a particular access to a particular machine to a particular user. You want to assign a role to a particular machine to a particular user, so we have to go into the access control. Here is this one, access control. I want to assign a particular role to a particular user. Click on the access control. Okay, now there is no one can access this machine. Okay, role assignment. If I'm going to the role assignment, there is no role assignment to any user. There is only single. Okay, now click on the add button. Add a role assignment, or we can also add a co-administrator here. Now click on the add role assignment and select the role which you want to make. Okay, suppose if you want to grant access to a full access with manage all resources but does not allow to assign roles in RBAC. If I select this, so it will create a contributor for us. Okay, suppose a virtual machine user login, I can create this one, or virtual machine contributor. Okay, and okay, let me try it with the owner. I'm selecting the owner one. Okay, now next. Now I have to select the members here. Okay, so it can be, this one is let me go to the frame. This one is your, this one is your security principal. Okay, now I have to select the security principal. Security principal can be your user group or service principal or the manage identity. Okay, so we have to select the member here if we have, or we can select the manage identity. Okay, now I have to select the users group and service principal. Now select the members. So member I create into admin one, this one. Okay, I can also select a particular group like company one. Right now I'm going to select a admin one. Okay, this one, and admin one is selected. Now click on the select button. So admin is selected for that particular machine. Review and assign. Okay, so it will assign a owner role to a admin user. Okay, you can see admin user is assigned to that particular machine. Now a login with the admin user. Let me log in with the admin user. Portal.azure.com. Use another account. Now I'm going to Okay, maybe later. Now click on the all resources. You can see your all resources here as assigned to you. Now you can check my VM is assigned to you. Okay, this is your all resources. My VM is assigned to you. Okay, and if I'm going to the resource group, so you are not able to see any resource group here because I assigned a I assigned a role to a particular machine, to a particular virtual machine. Okay, so let's go to the all resources. You can see only the virtual machine here. Let me create another resources into my Azure panel. Okay, so if I'm going here and into all resources, you can see uh, in my root account I have multiple resources, but in my user account, in my admin account, I have only a virtual machine that I have assigned to a particular user. Okay, if I select this one, cloud team, I don't have any access. Okay, I don't have any access. Okay, still I don't have any access to my resource group. Okay, now assign a role to a particular resource group. So let me go to the home section. Into a home section, now select the resource group. Resource groups. In resource group, we have multiple resource group. Okay, suppose I want to assign a role to a particular resource group. Okay, select this one, select the resource, select the access control IAM, and you can see there is no role assignment here. Okay, click on that. Now add, and you can assign the custom roles here or the add role assignment or the co-administrator. I'm going to assign a role. First, you have to select the role for a particular user. So if I want to select only the group viewer, means suppose I want to select the contributor or the reader. Okay, view all resources, but does not allow you to make the changes. I select this one, reader. Okay, and right here, reader, this one, and next, select member. I select the admin user, and now we can give the description here that why I assigned this user or for what, whatever you want to remember. Okay. Now review plus create and review and assign. Okay. So once the role assignment is completed, you are able to see the cloud team groups. Okay. In previously, we don't have access to the resource group. If I am going to click with that, I am able to see this panel. I am able to see the panel. Okay, but I am only able to read it. I don't have any access to create or delete here. Okay, I don't have any access to create or the other thing. Okay, if I am going to create this one, so I'm not able to do that. Okay, operation will be failed in few minutes because we have only the reader permission. Okay. Uh, okay, you can see the error. Does not have authorization to perform this action. Okay, validation over scope means I am not able to create any resources into a particular group because I assigned only a reader permission to a particular resource group. Okay. And but I can see all the resources into a resource group because I have a reader permission. Then I am only able to see the resources. You can see I have one VM here. Okay. Sandeep and Ghost, did you have any confusion? Okay. Okay. So, okay. Now we can assign, if I'm going to the subscription, this one, this is my admin account. If I want to see my subscription here, okay. So I don't have any permission to see the subscription here. I am only able to see the only my subscription here. If I click on that, okay, pay as you go, unauthorized, insufficient privilege to see the billing data. Okay, I can see the, because I select a contributor here into the role. You don't have any permission to read the role assignment to this scope. Okay, so I don't have any permission to that, and also I can check with that into the management group or into the Azure AD. Let me go to the Azure AD. Azure Active Directory, particular user, okay, particular admin, assigned roles. So there is no roles assigned. Okay, so we can set, we can set, we can set to the particular resource, we can set to the particular group, and we can also set to the particular subscription. Okay. If I select this one, if I go to the subscription level, like subscriptions, into subscription, I can assign access control to a particular user. Okay. As you can see, I have multiple options with the admin account, with the root account, with my account. Okay. But you can see I have less option into this one. Okay. So I'm not able to perform or insufficient privilege to see the billing data. Okay. I can check the activity log because I am a reader. I can read it. Okay. You can see all the logs here, create or update the virtual machine, create role assignment or for particular user. Okay. Is it fine for now? Okay. Did you understand? We have three types of permission: AD role, subscription level, and the RBAC. Okay. In RBAC, we can assign to a particular resources or particular subscription or particular resource group. Okay. So let me delete all my resources once it is completed.